Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Premier tells British Columbians he wants to protect homeowners, yet somehow private property rights in the Cowichan case were not argued by BC. He says the appeal is only about, and I quote, clarity, end quote. Here's some clarity that the Premier could provide the people of British Columbia. Cabinet, no doubt, has received legal advice, likely warning his government to defend private property rights in court. Will the Premier waive Cabinet confidentiality and make public any legal opinions he or his Cabinet received regarding private property rights in the Cowichan case? Yes or no?
Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have to confess it's a strange request, given that all of our legal documents and our arguments are on the public record and filed for everybody about what the arguments we made in that case. I just want to assure the public, as I do every time I stand up here and speak about this, is that we're taking this very seriously, including the protection of private property owners. We have a team of lawyers that are on top of it and working not only with the Cowichan, but also with the landowners themselves, directly engaging with them so we can understand the impacts and where the province needs to step in. And we're also actively engaging in our appeal and a stay application on the matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Leader of the Official Opposition Supplemental.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, I find it interesting considering the legal advice that goes to Cabinet comes from her ministry and she isn't even aware of it. I think that is very telling in terms of what legal advice that their Cabinet may or may not have received in terms of the Cowichan case. However, the Premier tells Indigenous leaders this appeal, and I quote, isn't really about Cowichan, end quote. While he tells homeowners their rights, quote, that they should rightly be worried, end quote. Just like private property and Aboriginal title can't coexist, does he really believe that both of these other statements he made is true? So if the Premier truly believes in transparency, will he come clean with the taxpayers and publicly declare exactly why he decided to leave the protection of private property rights up to Richmond and Richmond alone, as per what the judge has said in her findings?
Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I've said this over and over again, and we've said this publicly, and it's in all of our legal steps that it was very important to us that we uphold the private property rights of landowners as we work through the difficult issues of reconciliation with our First Nations governments, and we've been doing that. Mr. Speaker, I invite the member to take a look at our arguments that were in at the Supreme Court of BC, and what we were pursuing on appeal and the work that we're doing. And also just, again, to when he was in Cabinet in 2015 and issued the first response to civil claim in this matter, and the arguments that we made are very similar to ones at that stage. Thank you.